spreads that he can't even leave because he's so infatuated with his servant. Even the Emperor's suspicions might ease, and his interest in the expedition will fade. And considering that the Grand Duke is preparing a birthday gift for the Emperor, that is bound to help too. The Grand Duke goes with the flow, saying that he cannot answer the matter of the expedition now. He kisses Mira on the cheek, saying that he is a little busy right now. This surprises Mira and she gets irritated. The man excuses himself, saying he will inform His Majesty of Askin's message. Mira is sure the Duke is a good actor to think that he didn't even blink while pretending. He must be used to watching such performances. But earlier, Mira was shocked. She wonders if there are any other settings she does not know about, like how their relationship isn't good in the original story. She barely got through this time, but next time she must be cautious. Her thoughts get disrupted as Askin mentions how good her acting is. He grabs his sword, saying he has been suspicious from the start. She claims to be a commoner, but her speech has a noble accent, and her swordsmanship carries the habits of a noble. He glares at her, warning her that he will just ask her one more time who she is. Mira had thought she had fooled him, but it seems he still doesn't trust her. She quickly blurts out that she entered because she has someone she wants to protect. Since the Duke already suspects her, Mira knew a half-hearted lie wouldn't work. She says she cannot tell who it is, but there is someone who is as precious as her life, and to protect them, she must stay in the Knight's Order. She assures him she is not his enemy. She has no choice but to be honest now. She tells him to trust her just this once. Askin asks if she performed that ridiculous act in front of the officials to win her favor. Mira says that is not it. It's just that he seemed tired, so she did it. Askin frowns and remarks that he didn't know he would be pitied by someone whose identity is unclear. It seems the Empire's hero has fallen far. He asserts that in any case, he didn't need Mira's help and tells her to stay out of it next time. The words seemed awfully familiar to Mira. She remembers how her sister had also ordered the engagement matter to be kept a secret from her. Askin kept reminding her of her sister, making her feel bothered. She approaches him closer, asking if the Empire's hero is merely the Empire's hero, and not a human. She reminds him that he is also an ordinary person who can rely on others for help. Her sudden assertiveness takes Askin aback. He asked if she thought he would climb all the way to the top if he just listened carefully. He then wonders aloud what kind of punishment he should impose to correct that arrogant attitude of hers. He rings the bell and punishes her by sending her to clean the crocodile cage. Mira tries to protest, but a knight drags her away. Askin sighs deeply as he stares at the Emperor's letter. He is aware of how skilled the Emperor is at swaying public opinion. That is how an unqualified person becomes the Emperor. Although he sent his nephew, who hadn't even undergone the coming-of-age ceremony, to the battlefield, no one doubted the Emperor's love for his nephew. Askin doesn't like how he received help from someone whose identity he doesn't even know. But if that guy hadn't intervened, he would have been manipulated by the Emperor again. He recalls Mira's words of how he can also receive help from others, making him sigh at her arrogance. He still doesn't know what Mira's identity is, but there is plenty of time to keep the man by his side and observe. Therefore, he thinks there is no rush. After Mira is done cleaning the crocodile cages, she quickly decides to bathe. She checks that the bathroom is clear. She couldn't stand the smell of crocodiles any longer. Normally she sneaks in to wash while the others are sleeping, but she cannot wait until night this time. She cannot believe she is finally seeing the luxurious bathroom during the daytime. She takes off her wig and her clothes and quickly gets into the water. It's been a long since you could pass like this without worries and wishes. It could be like this every day. She suddenly sensed someone coming in. She knew this was bad. Mira had clearly checked that the entire Night Order was training and wondered who on earth it was. She hides behind the pillars and sneakily looks again to see no one there. She wonders if she imagined a statue because of the steam, even though it feels strange, and she decides to leave quickly. However, a sudden cold voice demanded, "Who's there?" The man grabs Mira's hand. He says outsiders cannot enter this place and asks if she is a spy. Mira could tell the man was strong. He tells her to stop the useless resistance and answer her. Mira finally grasps free from his control. But before she can flee, she sees the other knights coming in after finishing their training. There is nowhere to hide, and Mira is certain she is doomed. However, before the knights can spot her, the man from earlier pushes her away. The other knights noticed him instead of Mira. They respectfully greet him and address him as Sir Idris. Hearing his name, Mira realizes he is Idris Lachline. In the past, he was a holy knight ordained in the temple, and now he is the deputy commander of the Black Dragon Knights. With his exceptional skill and gentle demeanor, he is an idol among the knights. Plus, he was also known to be the Grand Duke's lover. Of all people, Mira wonders why she gets caught by someone like him. Idris tells the other men to keep quiet. They quickly obliged, saying they would come back later and telling him to bathe comfortably. Idris then tells her to come out now. Mira thanks Idris for helping her and wonders how to explain herself. She tries to clarify that she is not a suspicious person, but gets interjected by Idris, who says that he is aware. This confuses Mira, but Idris asks if she isn't Lady Mira Brabant. Mira is shocked to her core as she wonders how Agrees knows her identity. She wonders what to do now. Now that Iris knows her identity, she cannot make any other excuses. To her surprise, Idris covers her up, suggesting that they move to another location to talk. After they have changed into appropriate clothes, Idris leads Mira to his room. He tells her to sit and that going to the Duke depends on her answers now. He then questions why she came here disguised. Mira doesn't know what to say. She says she has something she wants to ask first. She asked why he was giving her a chance to explain after she had broken military law. Idris reveals how he saw Mira at the swordsmanship competition a few years ago. He compliments how impressive her swordsmanship is. Mira had been wondering how Idris knew her. It turns out he saw her at a competition. There was a time when she participated in many of them. Idris says that thanks to that, he was able to recognize her immediately. At the same time, he had a question. With her lineage and skills, which are lacking in nothing, what could be the reason for her to come to the Black Dragon Knights in disguise? He thought it wasn't necessary to punish her without hearing that reason. His reasoning impresses Mira. She wonders if he is the type who doesn't act rationally until he understands the other person's position. It seems she might be able to tell Idris the real reason after all. Mira reveals everything to him. Idris hums in agreement. He says that he knew that Lady Brabant and Sir Ethan had feelings for each other, but he asked how Mira infiltrated the Knights just to prevent Lady Grace's marriage. He says it doesn't seem like such an important matter that would justify risking this much. If she weren't careful, he says that not only would her life be at risk, but problems between families would also become serious. The reason for risking her family ties feels somewhat childish to Idris. Mira remains quiet. She knows it is all true, so she has no room for excuses. But she soon looks up in determination, saying it might sound selfish, but there is nothing more important to her than her sister's happiness, the reason she picked up the sword. It is all for her sister, so she is prepared to endure any sacrifice. Sir Idris stares at Mira quietly for a second. He then reveals how Ethan will return in 2 months. That means he will be watching over her until then. He advises her to keep a low profile as much as possible until then. Mira's face lights up with happiness, and she thanks the man. Idris is certain of Mira's identity since he is Ethan's direct supervisor. With that authority, Mira is sure he could expedite Ethan's return and send her away at any time. He has postponed her disposition. In addition to that, he allowed her to use a private bathroom and helped her by sending a letter to Johan on her behalf. Mira doesn't know why Idris is helping her this much, and she wonders if her last words resonate with him. She thought her military life would become a bit easier thanks to Idris, but it was all delusional. Her training was getting more difficult day by day. After the meal, Aaron ordered the apprentice knights to gather at the entrance of the castle rather than the training grounds this time. The knights were excited as they thought they were getting a break, but Aaron revealed it was to welcome a distinguished guest. He told them to come out in the uniform in 1 hour. Mira is aware that the place is heavily restricted for outsiders and wonders if it is really for welcoming guests. She wonders how important the person who's coming is. A lady walks out of the carriage with the Duke's help. Mira instantly realizes who the woman is by her red hair. The woman greets Askin, asking if it has been 3 months already. She is the first princess of the Cardenas Empire, Princess Cordelia. Mira begins to full-fledged panic, wondering why on earth these trials never end. Princess Cordelia was the judge at the swordsmanship competition Mira participated in for the first time. At that time, she, along with the Black Dragon Knights and the Marquis Albrecht's Knights, was known as one of the 3 great knight orders of the Empire. She had founded the Scarlet Knights as well. Princess Cordelia noticed Mira from there. She even proposed to recruit her, the winner of the competition, into her knight order. But at that time, Mira had no intention of leaving Brabant, so she politely declined. Still, she cared for Mira like her own younger sister. Mira, too, was gradually attracted to Cordelia's upright character. After that, she introduced Cordelia to her older sister. Cordelia and their family have always been close and became allies with shared ideals. Therefore, Mira knows there is no way the princess wouldn't recognize her just because she is wearing her magical wig. If her true identity is exposed in front of the Duke and everyone she knows, it will be a disaster. That is the one thing she must prevent at all costs. Askin notices Mira reacting strangely and excuses from the princess for a moment. Mira knows she must look like a madman, but she doesn't care. It is much better than revealing her identity. Askin soon approaches her and questions what kind of disgrace she is putting up in front of the distinguished guest. Askin lectures her that helmets are only permitted for senior knights and tells her to take her helmet off. The fourth princess, Nadia Cardenas, notices the commotion and asks what the matter is. Mira had heard she's been frail since birth and had only stayed inside the palace. Askin assures the princess that nothing is going on and tells her to go inside. It is Mira's first time seeing Nadia this close as well. Thanks to her, she managed to escape the crisis. As Mira smiles at her, Nadia blushes. On the other hand, Mira wonders why the two princesses have arrived at this state and wonders if something could be going on. And since everyone's attention is elsewhere, Mira is happy that today's training might be over. If she is lucky, she might get some rest for the first time in ages. But to her disappointment, Aaron orders the trainee knights to report to their direct superiors immediately. Aaron explains that since the princesses are here, they need to tighten security, and while they are staying, they will be on guard duty in the afternoons with their direct superior. The trainee knights hide their despair and agree with Aaron. The next day at the Duke's residence, Mira feels sullen as she doesn't want to go for training. The sudden visit of the two princesses was to deliver a message from the Emperor. The content of that message informs the Duke about how the Western Ruins investigation has been postponed, so he should rest in its territory. The Emperor looks forward to seeing his nephew at his birthday banquet in 2 months. In short, it was pressure to show the Duke's loyalty at the Emperor's birthday banquet instead of the investigation of the Western Ruins. While it was a relief that the Duke wouldn't be heading to the West, Mira had to prepare a birthday gift that would satisfy the Emperor instead. She never expected things to turn out like this. As the root cause of this situation, Mira is currently enduring the Duke's hysteria. She is getting used to his temper, so it is not too bad, but she is worried about being next to him in case she accidentally runs into Princess Cordelia. She is sure Cordelia is in the Duke's office right now, which is why she is hesitating to go. Yesterday, when the princesses came to the Duke's residence, they only delivered the Emperor's message and then went to rest. Mira has no issue crossing over alligators, fire pits, and thorny baths. She is willing to train instead. She knows if she tries to hide her face, she will look even more suspicious. Plus, she cannot wear even a helmet. She wonders if there is an effective way out of this. She puts her worries aside as she suddenly senses a presence nearby. She is aware that people usually don't come into this courtyard, and she wonders if it could be Princess Cordelia. If it is the princess, she won't have to run into her in the Duke's room and decide to check quickly. She can just go to the Duke and ask him to let her train instead. However, it was the fourth princess, Nadia. She wonders why the princess is alone here in such a remote place without any escort. She wonders if it isn't dangerous for a member of the royal family to be alone even in the Duke's residence. She sighed, knowing she should not worry because if she gets caught, she will be the one in big trouble. She is certain the princess's escort knights must be hiding well. But to her shock, an intruder suddenly leaps onto the fourth princess. Mira is immediately alerted and pulls the fourth princess before any harm can come to her. It seems the man was an assassin. The man snickers, saying he thought Mira was just a troublemaker, but judging by that training outfit, she is a trainee knight. Mira tells the princess to step back for a moment. The assassin says he will make sure Mira regrets stepping out without knowing her place. But Mira smiles confidently, remarking that he underestimates the Black Dragon Knights too much. Whoever is trying to assassinate the princess in broad daylight, Mira knows if he is caught by her, he will be done for. She quickly defeats the intruder, asking if this is all the skill he has to infiltrate the Duke's residence. Soon, the other trainee knights approach the commotion. Mira reveals to Varen how an assassin targeting the fourth princess had entered the Duke's residence, whom she just subdued and knocked out. Varen turns shocked and says he will report this to the senior knights and be back soon. Mira turns to the princess, trembling in shock, and extends her hand, asking if Her Highness is all right. She reassures the princess to rest easy, informing her that the assassin has been dealt with. However, when the fourth princess does not take her hand, Mira realizes it is covered in blood. Apologizing for her reckless actions, Mira is surprised when the fourth princess suddenly grabs her hand, insisting the injury occurred while Mira was protecting her. The princess then wraps a scarf around Mira's wound and thanks her for saving her life. Just then, the Duke steps into the scene, throwing his robe over Mira and instructing her to shield his disgraceful appearance from Princess Nadia. With this, the video ends. Will Mira be able to gain Duke Askin's trust and stay within the Knight's Order until Ethan comes back? The start of the story hints at how the Duke knows about Mira's true identity. Does this mean Askin has begun to trust Mira and possibly developed feelings for her? Most importantly, will Mira be able to change the flow of the original story and craft a happy ending for her beloved sister? Stay tuned for more updates.